spoil this because I haven't read the books.
No, I haven't read the books either, so this is basically okay. I know, sorry. Okay, there's a brief introduction.
Aww. Am I gonna cry?
This project was born from a conversation amongst a handful of Temple London students after reading/viewing The Hunger Games. We imagined a scenario in which our community had to engage in a battle to the death. Thus, The Hunger Games Temple London Spring 2012 was created.
Whoa.
What started as a hypothetical short story, purely for entertainment purposes, soon took on the form of a fascinating sociological experiment. Those of you who knew I was writing this began expressing concerns as if the game was actually going to take place. Several of you divulged information to me about one another in hopes of improving your chances. Because of this, I am now aware that Spencer has life-threatening asthma. Browning is skilled in the art of stage combat, and a number of you are squeamish at the sight of blood.
Wait,
Yeah, where is Browning?
Browning's not here.
Shit.
He's at the Harry Potter thing still.
Oh, okay. Alright, we'll have the second read. I was on the receiving end of multiple bribes, suddenly getting compliments and offers for daily cups of hot tea. Some of you even held discussion groups, producing your own theories about who the survivor or survivors could be. These theories were brought to my attention as well by friends very seriously concerned with the outcome, threatening to be angry with me forever if the odds proved not to be in their favor. In fact, as I sit here writing this right now, I have been interrupted twice by Corey, threatening to stand up and incite an actual riot during the reading if his character gets killed off by Spencer's. Note my use of the word character in the previous sentence. This prologue is also a reminder that this story is indeed fictional, and one that I have made up entirely. Although certain real-life personality aspects, such as Diana's love of cats, may have found their way into this story, the majority of it has been created purely for entertainment purposes. I hope my story does not offend any of you, but if it does, I am not even sorry. You need to get over yourself and not take it so personally.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
That being said, I now present to you The Hunger Games Temple London Spring.
We're all gonna die.
I get dry mouth when I speak in public.
Oh my god. What else is wrong?
Alright.
You are so gross.
Alright. Okay, I'm gonna turn the page. After a long and strenuous semester at Temple London, the spring 2012 students prepare for their final days abroad. The months leading up to this moment have been filled with tested limits, academic milestones, and the formation of a family who not too long ago were complete strangers. Just days before their scheduled departure, the Temple students are hit with horrifying information and learn of their impending doom. The first annual Temple London Hunger Games will take place, and they will be the first class to participate. The partners would be chosen at random and put through an intensive training period on fighting and survival skills. Each tribute remains in the arena until there is just one man or woman left alive and free to return home. Soon, the tributes would find themselves in the wooded arena, just moments before the final countdown. Each set of pairs was positioned in a half circle opposite the cornucopia filled with supplies. I apologize in advance if I pronounce any of your last names wrong. Starting, and here's where you find out where all your partners are.
Oh god! I'm gonna get a good one!
Starting at the left were Julie Zeglin and Whitney DiTaranto. After them, Lauren Reese and Molly Lindley. Followed by Kelly Cole and Nicole Loomis. Then Becky Zaritsky and Jillian Francello. After them, Nicole Baldino and Diana Brody. Then Spencer Allhouse and Jennifer Babu.
Babu.
Hey!
And wait, is
Just in
Molly
time.
here? Is she coming?
Sit down.
Then
On the floor.
Spencer Allhouse and Jennifer Babu. Followed by Julie Touchstone and Corey Council. Then
Yourself.
Browning Sterner and Eric Waldman.
Wait, I
Then-
thought these were at random.
Good odds. Then Tara Namorato and Devin Kenny. Then Francisco Ovade and Francis Eladio. Followed by Mel Wagner and Liam McKenna. Then Ross Blumenthal and Lewis. After them, Kelly Swaggart and Caroline Martin Tomas. And finally, Carolyn Kitsch and Ben Thornton.
So we know who's first to die.
Yes.
I die first, don't I?
The odds are not in your favor.
I like Ross and Lewis. I picked that. Oh, only one person?
Right, one person.
So dead.
The buzzer went off and race to supplies began. Molly Lindley and Liam McKenna are quickly ahead of the rest. During training, both tributes displayed impressive abilities to remain emotionally detached, distancing themselves from the gravity of the situation. However, this quality led them straight into the heart of danger. Liam was first to grab a knife and quickly turned to stab Molly in the chest. Setting off the first cannon.
Ironically, she's not here to hear this.
It wasn't you, Spencer. Unfortunately for Liam, he was so taken by his first kill that he did not notice Browning Sterner creep up behind him. Browning had taken exceptionally well to sword fighting during training and somehow managed to get his hands on one within the first minutes of the game. With one swing, Browning slices Liam's throat with the sword.
Alright, so 2 dead, 26 left.
Alright. Just a few feet away, partners Kelly Swaggart and Caroline Martin-Tumas approached the supplies. Caroline exhibited incredible skill with all fighting tools during training. While this certainly would help in the field, it made her the first target for many tributes. Where Kelly lacked in fighting, she excelled in negotiation, more concerned with forming allies than killing. While Caroline was busy gathering tools and Kelly rationalizing which of the survivors they should join forces with, Brownie takes them both out with a quick strike.
Brownie, you psycho!
Can I just say that I knew Brownie was going to kill him?
24 left.
Not far from them, Ben Thornton is one of the first of the supplies and picks up a knife. In a bizarre twist of events, he turns away from the other tributes and pulls the blade on himself. Anti-establishment by nature, he decides to die by his own hand rather than give the other tributes and home viewers.
I am hooked already.
His own throat after looking to the sky and shouting, "Take this, big brother." Moments later, another cannon sounds.
No, he didn't say
It is at this moment the remaining tributes decide to disperse in various directions throughout the arena. Carolyn Kitchenmill Wagner, both just having lost their partners, take off separately into the woods. Ross Blumenthal and Lewis, both believing in the philosophy of the lone wolf, shake hands and walk off calmly in opposite directions. While the bloodbath ensues. Eric Waldman, who up to this point had stood back in awe, watching his partner commit murder several times over, and witnesses the death of fellow classmates, suffers a psychotic break which would soon manifest into a violent bloodlust for all other tributes. Just before Browning attempts to flee the scene and disappear into the woods, he is struck in the head by an arrow, bringing his brief but gruesome reign of terror to an end. Nicole Loomis had proved to be quite deadly with the bow and arrow during training.
At least no one killed me.
And somehow managed to snatch one from the cornucopia before disappearing into the wilderness. She and her partner Kelly Cole head straight into the woods to prepare for the hunt. The two are perfectly matched, both gentle and unassuming, yet Kelly was as skilled in manipulating as Nicole in shooting. They are discussing strategy and quietly moving along through the bush when they cross paths with Becky and Jillian.
Red hair, gonna die.
Experienced in working with wild animals, Jill is completely in her element. She is well versed in tracking and catching woodland creatures, a survival skill many of the other tributes lack. This is beneficial to her partner Becky, who is squeamish at the sight of blood and would have trouble killing even the tiniest rabbit, let alone another human being. However, Becky has spent much of her life staying physically active on a well-balanced diet, starting her off in the game in better health and therefore better suited to survive nature's harsh conditions than the other tributes. Jill is in the midst of pointing out a squirrel's nest to Becky when Nicole and Kelly walk up, hands in the air. They plead innocence and talk Becky and Jill into forming an alliance. Listen, the four of us each have something to bring to the table. Listen, the four of us each have something to bring to the table, Kelly proclaims. We'll all survive longer if we stick together. Agreeing with this logic, the four continue on.
This is so Kelly.
The group stays together long enough for Jill to share as much as she can about wild animals. When Kelly and Nicole decide they've heard enough, Nicole shoots Jill in the back with an arrow.
23.
Becky manages to escape on foot and run off into the woods before the others can follow. Unfortunately, she stumbles upon the same hiding place as Eric, who at this point has completely lost touch with the reality and is prepared to survive by any means necessary. He kills her immediately with a large rock.
22.
Oh, Kelly. Becky. Oh, Becky.
Thanks, Brownie.
No, Jill and I are now together. Kelly and Nicole are alone.
How did you?
No, I just
No,
died by
Becky just
Eric.
died. Yeah, I thought
You can be right.
I,
22 tributes are left.
Somewhere off in the distance, Whitney DiTaranto and Julie Zeglin have gone in search of a water source. With Julie's extensive knowledge of the actual Hunger Games and Whitney's experience living off the land, they knew this was the first and most important plan of action. The two managed to find a small stream running alongside a cavern and begin to stock up. Julie is quick to remind Whitney of the importance of remaining calm, something that Whitney would soon forget when she needs it the most. Unfortunately, this exchange of encouragement would be the last the pair has, as Julie suddenly trips and falls to her death. While walking on the slope along the cavern, causing Whitney to continue alone. Sorry. Francisco and Francis.
Oh my God!
Experiencing similar events. The two find a secluded area to set up camp. Frank successfully puts together an efficient and rather cozy den for the two of them. It is not exactly crucial to survival, but it is to aesthetics, which he explains is of equal importance. As nightfall sets in, the two realize they've gone the entire day without eating. Afraid they won't have time to hunt in the morning, they decide to go now. Not wanting to attract attention with light or shouting, they rely on the angelic voice of Fran and imitation calls of mockingjays to save them. Fran and Frank are both separated for about an hour, hunting in opposite directions, but occasionally calling on mockingjays to let them know the other is alright. Suddenly, the calls turn from melodic harmonies to shrill cries, and Fran races back in the direction of Frank. Fran suddenly comes up on Frank lying in the grass and finds that he has been strangled, a method of killing that Corey proved to be proficient. After throwing his hands up in the air and exclaiming about the unjust cruelties of the world, Fran takes off into the night alone. After darkness has set in, Fran suddenly comes up on Whitney as she is trying to find shelter for the night. In a state of panic, he pulls out a knife and stabs her, causing her to collapse to the ground and die from loss of blood shortly thereafter. Never really accepting the reality of having to kill another human being, Fran begins to have a nervous breakdown. He is so consumed by this that he doesn't notice Spencer Althouse coming up, who makes a clean slice to his throat. Jennifer Babu, not far behind Spencer, hurries along and takes Whitney's water supply before moving forward. The team of two move through the night, getting increasingly more concerned about finding shelter as the dark of night gets thicker. They have successfully made it through the games thus far, relying on Jen's overwhelming kindness towards other tributes, which has resulted in none of them being able to bring themselves to kill her. However, this is sometimes counteracted by her wise-ass partner, whom the other tributes aim to target. Fortunately for the two of them, Spencer had a long list of sponsors before the games even began, causing a multitude of parachutes to be sent their way throughout the game. They finally spot a ditch several yards away that would make for a perfect hideout until morning. Just as the two are approaching, Eric charges forward through the bushes and stabs Spencer in the abs. Jen manages to scream loud enough that the threat of being discovered scares away Eric, and the pair manages to escape into the ditch. Although the cold nighttime conditions and a gaping wound don't make for a promising future. When the sun comes up several hours later, Lauren Reese is comfortably tucked away in a hillside cave. The hideaway is small and contained an old, dirty wooden sign that once clearly read Amelia's Love Shack. There had to be cameo. After the untimely death of her partner Molly Lindley, Lauren has been left to survive on her own. Not doing very well in killing during the training period, she decides to utilize her skills of staying under the radar and hiding from the others as long as possible. She lasts a surprisingly long time without food or adequate water, but unfortunately is strangled during an afternoon nap by Corey Council. He and his partner, Julie Touchstone, take Lauren's supplies and move along the stream. Julie stops to fill their water containers while Corey moves downstream. He is suddenly startled when he comes up on Tara and Namorano. Oh, shit. Jesus, you scared the crap out of me, Corey says, putting a hand over his racing heart. I thought you were someone who was about to kill me. You know, I could never do that, replies Tara. At this moment, Devin Kenny leaps around from behind a tree and sends a spear straight through Corey's chest from behind.
And that is called karma. mama, bitch.
That's what I get for dropping on your face.
Julie sees this from upstream and takes off running. Trained in the art of camouflage, Julie quickly gets to work constructing a bodysuit of twigs and leaves. She is just about finished when she walks straight into Kelly Cole and lets out a scream. Relax, it's fine, it's just me, says Kelly. Julie lets out a sigh. Sorry, girl, didn't see you there. Do not worry, you're all right now, says Kelly. Why don't you sit down for a minute and compose yourself?
That's what she said to Gil and I.
Just as Kelly finished her sentence, she ducks out of the way, narrowly missing Nicole's arrow that goes straight into Julie's temple. Another cannon.
I don't like Loomis.
He's shady, yo. Shiesty.
Somewhere up on higher ground, Mel Wagner is wandering about on her own. With a strong set of medical skills, she has managed to survive every scrape and scratch that came her way. Now up high above most of the other tributes, she comes up on what looks to be a campsite with remnants of a campfire and food particles. She notices someone lying on the ground in the distance and approaches with caution. Turns out to be Lewis, who successfully avoided being killed by a single tribute for the entire game, but was killed in the middle of the night by an overwhelming amount of water. Mel takes his supplies and crosses paths with Carolyn Kitsch. Mel, thank goodness you're okay, she shouts. Carolyn had been the group's fearless leader throughout the months leading up to the game. Her undying devotion and maternal instinct towards each of the tributes was cause for none of them to target her.
I don't want to kill you.
Not to mention her extensive knowledge of each of their personal records, containing all of their greatest strengths as well as weaknesses. Mel and Carolyn swap stories of surviving the game without a partner. I think it's just terrible that they're making you guys go through all this. If I survive, FAE is certainly going to get a new The two form an alliance and carry on together.
Wait,
Back
guys,
down.
How many are left?
14.
14?
Oh,
Back down.
Apparently, I'm a psycho.
Back down near the river, Diana Brody and Nicole Baldino emerged from their hideout. Diana and Nicole both managed to grab weapons from the cornucopia at the start of the game, yet neither were the most efficient tools for killing. Diana carried a bat, which proved to be effective in keeping wild animals at bay, but a rather slow and messy way to kill people. Nicole grabbed a tranquilizer gun and could shoot targets with incredible accuracy. These shots, of course, would not kill tributes, but stabilized them long enough so the pair could lift their supplies and escape. Nicole begins climbing a tree to survey their surroundings, while Diana looks around ground level. She slowly encircles a tree when Tara backs up into her. They both jump. Sorry, they both yell. Wait, what? What? No, what'd you say? Tired of this awkward exchange already, Devin comes forward and sends a spear through Diana, setting off another cannon. Tara and Devin share a premature sigh of relief, seconds before Devin is hit in the neck by Nicole's tranquilizer and collapses to the ground.
Devin's so good.
It's just tranquilizer. Unsure of where the shots are coming from and how many tributes may be hiding in the trees above, Tara takes off running. A straight she excels in far beyond the other tributes. Nicole jumps down from the tree and takes the spear off Devin before running off in the opposite direction. Mel and Carolyn soon walk by and find Devin passed out in the grass. Mel crouches down to check if Devin is still breathing, just as the sedative is wearing off. Panicked, Devin grabs Mel around the throat and tries to choke her. The two engage in a barehanded death match, resulting in Mel getting a hand free long enough to reach for a nearby rock. She smashes the rock into the side of Devin's head, shattering part of her skull and sending a heavy red mist through the air. Incredibly, Devin does not loosen her grip on Mel's throat, managing to hold on for an impressive few minutes. The loss of oxygen to Mel's brain is finally too much, she collapses,
11.
setting off another cannon. Just moments later, a cannon goes off for Devin as well. Carolyn Kitsch is standing several feet away, just having witnessed the brutal and gruesome death of two of her students. In shock and unable
I'm in the top 10.
I cannot believe I got in this movie. I still cannot.
I think we need to make a chart after this. After what seems, in shock and unable to intervene, Carolyn stands by frozen. After what seems like hours, she is so overcome with grief that she can no longer carry on. Carolyn cannot continue on in a world where her once civilized and compassionate students are murdering one another. Also, she rationalizes her own death could mean the life of a student. Carolyn manages to find poisonous berries and swallows them.
Oh!
Moments later, another cannon.
Thanks, Caroline. I poisoned myself.
You kill yourself.
Because you couldn't compare anybody else.
The last thing we wanted. That's the last thing we wanted.
The sun now setting for a second time. The sun now
Wait,
setting.
time out.
Yes.
So, who's still alive?
Yeah, who's
Kelly
still
and
alive?
Nicole.
You're dead. Shut
No,
up.
no, 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 no.
I think I'm still
Did you
alive.
get shot in the eyeball?
He's still alive.
Whitney, I'm still alive, right?
Oh, the abs, that's even
I'm dead.
Really?
Tara, Ross, Jen, Eric, Nicole,
Frank is not. No.
I'm an Ivy Spirit.
Everyone that's not. There might be someone's not here.
I just don't want to get it.
I can't believe I made it past the first round.
Alright, well, you're close.
So 8 or 9.
Shut up.
The sun now setting for the second time. Spencer and Jen are still hiding out in their ditch. Jen, smaller and more agile than most of the tributes, is able to survive longer without food and water. Spencer, however, has lost a great deal of blood and no longer has the strength to move on his own.
My bad.
God, your cat. Jen, for the first time ever, goes against his wishes and stays by his side, rather than move forward on her own. Spencer dies a slow and painful death over the next several hours.
Who's the pussy?
Died in the 20s.
Oh!
Because my boyfriend cheated on me and he cut me.
Over the next several hours, causing thousands of internet biddies around the world to weep for days. In a tribute to his honor, Twitter verifies his account. Now too cold and weak to move, takes her last breath several hours later, still by his side.
That's so cute.
And you're good, writer.
Somewhere across the arena, life is so weird right now. Somewhere across the arena, Tara is still sprinting from the danger she narrowly escaped by the river. About 12 miles in, she is just about ready to collapse. She finally slows down when she thinks she has distanced herself from the other tributes, but does not see Nicole crouched in a tree above. Oh, to verify, this is Baldino. She's crouched in above. Nicole shoots her tranquilizer gun, hitting Tara straight in the neck.
So set.
You're tranquilized. You're
Her
tranquilized.
exhaustion and dehydration is so severe from the run that the sedative kills her.
Guys, can I just say, I really want Kelly Cole to die.
Please explain yourself.
No blood is on my hands.
This lady has PR'd her way through this shit. And it is not fair.
Nicole jumps down from
What
the
is
tree
happening?
and is in the midst of searching Tara for supplies when Eric charges forward. Just as Eric produces a knife and stabs Nicole in the chest, she produces her tranquilizer gun to his neck and pulls the trigger. The pressure in close range causes the ammunition to break through the skin, rupturing Eric's corroded artery. The two collapse and die from loss of blood shortly after.
Top 5, top 5, top 5.
I'm doing
After the sound of the last two cannons, Nicole and Kelly
I
realize
died.
they have almost reached the end. They duck down behind some trees to enjoy a quick meal before continuing on.
I'll be back.
Kelly, have you been keeping track of the cannons? There's just a few tributes left. We really have a chance, says Nicole hopefully. I know. I mean, I always knew we'd last a while, but I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with us. Same. I'm glad we were chosen as partners. Me too. We're a good team. It's too bad, you know? About what? That only one of us is going to walk out of here.
Nicole.
Yeah, that's too bad. Sorry, Kelly. In a quick and swift motion, Nicole picks up her bow and shoots Kelly with an arrow in close range. Kelly slumps over and gives us a few soft twitches before going limp. Nicole gets up and covers Kelly's lifeless body in brush.
Wait, so it's Nicole and who else?
Ross.
Nicole. I knew Ross and Jen.
Nicole gets up and covers Kelly's lifeless body in brush. Feeling lightheaded, Nicole goes back to where she made the shot and sits down. She stays still for a few minutes trying to compose herself, but only feels more confused and somewhat sick. She glances over to the roasted squirrel carcass she had been munching just a few minutes prior. Nicole suddenly reaches out and takes it up in her hands, allowing her eyes to focus on the crushed berries buried inside the flesh of the animal. Kelly had already poisoned her.
Oh my.
That's how it goes.
Nicole sets the squirrel down calmly and lays down in the grass. The partners die minutes apart. Somewhere off in in the distance, Ross Blumenthal.
Yeah, bitch!
After spending 2 days successfully evading all other tributes, constructing an impressive lair complete with reclining seats, and befriending a number of wild animals, finally emerges into main battleground. Stepping into the sunlight, Ross hears the first voice he's heard in 2 days. Congratulations, you have won the first annual Temple London.
All right, so
The arena, alive, triumphant, and bizarrely unaffected by the atrocities of the Temple London Hunger Games.